Kamakailan lamang si former Goldman Sachs Chief Economist Jim O'Neill ay tinawagan ang BRICS bloc o tinatawag ding Brazil, Russia, India, China at South Africa na i-expand at i-challenge ang dominance ng US dollar. Sa ngayon, China's recent actions Miranda with the yuan are already doing just that. Sabi ni O'Neill, ang dollar dominance di umano ay nagdi-destabilize ng other nations' monetary policies. Anya, US dollar dominance is destabilizing other nations' monetary policies kung kaya't ang BRICS di umano ay kailangang mag-counter against it. The US dollar plays a far too dominant role in the global finance. Ito ay kanyang isinulat sa isang papel published in the Global Policy Journal. Sabi niya, whenever the Federal Reserve Board has embarked on periods of monetary tightening or the opposites, loosening, the consequences on the value of the dollar and the knock-on effects have been very dramatic. This was demonstrated Miranda over the past couple of years at kahit din tayo sa ating pag-live sa YouTube, nakikita natin ang epekto ng pagtaas ng interest rates at epekto nito sa pagbagsak ng stock market at sa mga equities. Furthermore, this was demonstrated in the past year as the Fed pursued its fastest tightening pace in decades to tame inflation, bringing its key policy rate from around 0 to a range of 4.75 to 5%. Miranda, that is actually 19 times pagtaas ng interest rates in less than or even within 1 year. Sabi ni O'Neill na ang dollar dominance is a burden to nations with dollar-denominated debts or utang since their monetary policy are destabilized when exchanges rate fluctuations. The ex-Goldman chief economist who coined the group's name BRICS is wanting to expand and creating a fairer multi-currency global system by including emerging nations Miranda katulad ng Mexico, Turkey, Egypt, Indonesia, Bangladesh, Vietnam, Pakistan, and even the Philippines. At the same time, sinabi ni O'Neill sa group to apply strict criteria when accepting new members at kailangan mag-focus sa climate finance, healthcare, and trade.
Pala Miranda, if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to click on like and subscribe so you're updated for everything about cryptocurrency, technical analysis, fundamentals, and these types of new knowledge for you in crypto. Maraming salamat.
Over a dozen countries already have expressed their interest in becoming a member of the group. This year, the bloc plans to determine whether to admit new members and what entry criteria to establish. Si Saudi Arabia at Iran are among those who formally asked to join according to media reports. Sabi rin ni O'Neill that new members should be more than just countries with large populations and sizable economies. Si BRICS kailangan mag-work daw ito on expanding its influence with the World Bank and International Monetary Fund. According sa Institute for Security Studies in Pretoria, si BRICS represents 42% of the global population, but its members hold less than 15% of the voting power at both institutions. The de-dollarization by countries in China and Russia has dominated Miranda the headlines this past year. Central banks have been buying record amounts of gold in 2022, led by emerging nations like Turkey and China. And that interest rate is carrying over 2023. Recently, si China ay nag-step up using a yuan as a trade settling mechanism. Ang yuan-dominated trade flows between Russia and China surged in 2022. And last week, Russian President Vladimir Putin said that he supports using the Chinese yuan for trade settlements between Russia, Asia, Africa, and Latin America. That statement, Miranda, came after the Chinese leader visited Moscow in March of 2023. Another historic move by China, Miranda, is yung completion ng first yuan-settled LNG trade which was done between Chinese National Oil Company and the France's Total Energies through the Shanghai Petroleum and Natural Gas Exchange. China also struck a deal with Brazil to trade in their own country currencies according sa report na nilabas ng AFP this week. Citing the Brazilian government, China has been Brazil's largest trading partner in 2009. In other areas of cooperation, Miranda, si Saudi Arabia approved the decision to join a China-led Shanghai Cooperation Organization or SCO as a dialogue partner. The SCO is a political, security, and trade alliance generated in 2001 to counter Western influence. Its members include China, Russia, India, Pakistan, and 4 central countries. Earlier this week, China and Saudi Arabia signed major oil deals as well. Kamiranda, ano nga ba ang effect ng tinatawag nating BRICS or Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa? And when they create their own contrarian against dollar dominance, ano ba ang epekto nito sa Bitcoin? Ang de-dollarization could potentially have a positive effect in Bitcoin dahil si Bitcoin ay nakikita bilang hedge against inflation and a decentralized alternative to traditional currencies like dollar. Kung mawawala ang reserve currency status ng dolyar and its dominance in the global finance were to decline, it could lead to an increased demand for alternative stores of value and means of exchange including Bitcoin. Additionally, as some more countries move away from the US dollar and seek to diversify their foreign currency reserves, there can be a greater willingness to consider Bitcoin as a viable alternative. Some countries ngayon, tulad ng El Salvador, have already adopted Bitcoin as a legal tender, and others may follow suit as they seek to break away from the dominance of the US dollar. However, Kamiranda, tandaan po natin that it's important that de-dollarization is a complex and a multifaceted process that can take years. And as with any other investment, it's important to do your own research and consider your own risk tolerance before investing in Bitcoin and any other asset. Maraming salamat nga pala sa mga nag-comment sa ating video na 10 companies traded in NYSE that are already using blockchain. Si Densky Official, Ranzi Bit, si Moon, Lex, Britasio Cradis as always, Romel Mones, Justin Mark, Ace, Joran, Elong Match, and Alila Gamer. Maraming salamat kay Miranda and I love you 3000.
Subscribe, like, follow, and share. Sige na please, Ka Miranda.